What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrew Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor, as well as Atlas. If you guys want to go ahead and check them out, they are linked in the description to this video. So for today, we're going to be tracking that cold front. There is a cold front up through the Ohio Valley and the Northeast, so that'll help cool us down a little bit up there, as well as possibly spark some storm chances. And then we also have, speaking of, storm chances from the Northeast all the way to the Pacific Northwest. So who's going to get severe weather? We're going to talk about it. Could be Portland, could be Boston, could be both. So stay tuned for that. And then we're hitting back to the tropics. So we do have a disturbance in the Atlantic. We're kind of watching that to see what it does as it starts to cross the basin. As it nears the U.S., could that intensify a little bit? We'll see. We're going to talk about all that here in a moment. But first, getting into yesterday's storm reports. So there was a scattering of some gusty winds as well as some subsevere hail pretty much across the nation, but the only real place of note that got hit was in the far eastern part of Colorado here. We did get some severe hail through the area, as well as a subsevere report coming out of Cheyenne. So really not a ton to talk about yesterday. It was super scattered. Like I said, it's going to kind of stay with that pattern for the next couple of days. And we're going to talk about why here in a second. So here's our future jet stream. These are going to be our mid-level, winds tracking through the nation here. Now we do have a couple areas, again, of severe weather possible, one off to the west and one off to the east, both associated with those troughs that you can see there. Now with this trough off to the west for the Pacific Northwest area, that's going to pull up all of that humid air up into the Oregon area, and with that, as it tracks all of that humid and unstable air up into the heat, it's going to cause that instability that'll help us get those storms. Same kind of story once you get off here into the New England area, but for the rest of us, really not seeing much. So this is the pattern by today at 6 p.m. There it is by 12 a.m., 6 hours later. Really not a whole lot of a change in our jet stream here between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. for today and tomorrow. So unfortunately what that means is that the central part of the U.S. as well as much of the southeast is sticking around in that heat, in that humidity, and that's going to continue to warm not only the surface but also the upper levels of the atmosphere, meaning that there's not going to really be a good chance for much ice to form. So that's what helps us with our hail, and really it's not going to be much driving that through here. As far as wind, we really rely on these large-scale systems with those upper-level winds that can be mixed down with any rain to move through, and again, not a whole lot. We're seeing that far northern pattern tracking through Canada and the very northern parts of the U.S., so that's why our storms have been so scattered for the last couple of days. There's that cold front that we're talking about, so you can see that sharp temperature gradient between Michigan and the Carolinas here. 74 degrees in Detroit, 95 degrees in Philadelphia, working our way into the mid-80s once we get down south, but Dallas, again, you're in a warm pocket there at 96 degrees. So plenty of heat, plenty of humidity to go around through the south and the east right now. And then once we jump off into the Ohio Valley, it's a little bit cooler, so we could get some instability tracking through with that cold front driving those storms today. Now, what it's doing right now, not a ton. I mean, it's tracking off to the east with that first dip that we saw in our jet stream. So we're getting some scattered showers tracking their way through Massachusetts, through Pennsylvania and New York, getting ready to intensify as we start to see the heating of the day. And then jumping off into Oregon, it's kind of the same story, not a ton yet, but getting ready to intensify a little bit once we move into those afternoon hours with these storms that are going to continue to track up to the north with that low pressure system driving it through. You can even see that spinning away in the corner right there. That's going to continue to swing all of that humid Pacific air up into the area driving those storms. Now, so most of us want to see Cape for hail chances. And again, we talked a little bit about it, but we're going to talk a little more. Got all those nice warm values for Cape, but really no hail chances, right? So here we are by 2 p.m. And then, as we do get some pop-up storms, that kind of goes away. And, that indicates a lot of energy in the atmosphere for hail. So what's going on? Here's our significant hail model, not showing a ton at all. By the same time, 2 p.m., when we see all those bright colors on our Cape map, not a lot for the significant hail value model. And that's another thing called lapse rates, guys. It's just that temperatures in the upper air, if those are super warm, you can't get ice forming. They need to be really cold in the upper air, and we just don't have that because of the heat dome right now. So if we want hail, we We really need that to move out of the way, and then we'll start to see these significant hail model values jumping back up. But looks like we may have to wait for those fall temperatures to swing through. I'm excited for those for more reasons than one. But yeah, we have to wait on those to pop back up to get that hail. So for right now, we're banking on wind with those two troughs swinging through. Here we are right now with those storms tracking into the Boston and New York area. There they are by 2 p.m. Starting to see some flickers of more intensity as they track into the metro areas, making a run at Boston by 5 as well as New York. A couple of those could be scattered severe as they move through all the way from DC into pretty much the Boston metro area with those storms as they track through. There they are going off the coast by the late overnight hours, and by the early morning hours you guys should be in the clear and back to just some scattered showers for you guys in the morning. Then off into Oregon and Washington. Going to see those storms continue to intensify as they track northward. We're going to see more intensity and more storm coverage as well by 4 p.m. Central, so that's 2 p.m. Pacific. These are going to track up towards 84. And again, a couple of those could really get going, could get us some gusty winds tracking through Oregon by later this afternoon and evening. As they make their way up towards Spokane, they're going to really start to taper off. Not a ton of, that trough is all the way down here, that low pressure system. So it's going to be hard pressed to get severe weather moving all the way up into Washington. But here through Oregon, with this storm coverage, we definitely could see a severe wind gust or two making their way through into the evening and overnight hours. So for our wind forecast for you guys today, it goes all the way from west to east once again. So, if you guys are in Boston, New York, anywhere through New Jersey, you guys have a low end shot of seeing some gusty winds. It's going to be pretty scattered through the area, so, you're on the low end. But some of those storms that get going with those stronger upper level winds could mix some of that down and get you some severe gusts moving through the New England area. Then off into Oregon and Washington, pretty much anywhere from Portland to Medford to Pendleton has a chance, if you get those storms tracking over you guys, definitely could see some gusty winds as well tracking through the area, just again due to that second low pressure system that's getting ready to move onshore. Then tomorrow, going to look at yet another very scattered storm chance. It's going to be mostly through the coastal part of Virginia and Maryland, but we do have some storms making their way all the way as far west as Charleston, West Virginia, that could see severe potential. So again, we're really relying on those strong upper level winds to drive our severe weather chance. So it's really not looking like much up here, not much wind to mix down with those storms, but out to the east we've got a little bit more. So we could see some severe winds tracking through, making their run at Washington by 2:30 p.m. Then Roanoke is going to get a pretty extended period of some heavy rain as well as gusty winds. Same with you guys in Charleston. So you'll want to watch out for flash flooding as well as some gusty winds as those track through, making their way out of Norfolk by the late overnight hours, and then once again waking up at 7 a.m. to just some rain showers here and there, and mostly should be in the clear for Thursday. So here's our our wind forecast for you guys for tomorrow. No hail again, unfortunately, just for the aforementioned reasons here. But if you guys are anywhere from Virginia to West Virginia to Maryland, you got a chance to see some gusty winds. So Richmond, Washington, D.C., all the way out as far west as West Virginia. You guys could see some damaging wind gusts here or there with those storms tracking throughout the evening and the early overnight hours. So then for our 5-day tropical outlook, this is what we're going to leave you guys with. We are watching the system as it tracks eastward. We've had a huge issue with the Saharan dust this summer. It's really been limiting those storm chances, but right now we do have one little guy that's trying to form. You can see him on satellite right here. It's going to continue to try to organize itself, but it really needs to kind of condense together, and it's going to look organized once it really starts to get going, and right now it's kind of not looking that way. So we're seeing it trying as it tracks off to the east-northeast, but in the next 2 days, 20% chance of tropical depression formation. Next 5 days, 30% chance. So really not looking crazy good right now, but we'll see what it can do as it moves into those warm Gulf Stream waters, as well as hopefully out of that Saharan dust if we want it to develop. So just watching that as it tracks off to the east, and we're going to keep you guys updated as always on that. So to get all of your severe weather risks, you guys can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as TikTok. You guys hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video, and smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Then if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us if you'd rather at info@hailtrace.com, or check out our website, hailtrace.com, for more details. We'll keep you updated. And for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.